One cast member from this show won a BFTA award, not for acting, not for television, but for a video game. He became the voice and motion capture performer behind one of the most beloved characters in gaming history, and millions of people who love that game have no idea he spent 10 years standing inside a Stargate. Another cast member quietly became the daughter-in-law of one of the greatest actresses in British history, and most of the people who watched her play a villain on this show never made the connection. And the man who played the most dependable supporting character across all 10 seasons, the one who kept getting injured as a running joke, was not actually an actor at all. He was the stunt coordinator who spent the whole run taking the real hits so the stars did not have to. Stargate SG-1 started in 1997 and ran for 10 seasons, and making it one of the longest science fiction series in television history. Most people remember the team, the gate, and the adventures. But what happened to the people behind those characters is a story full of surprises, real loss, and careers that went in directions nobody on that set could have predicted. Stay to the end, because the final story is the one that changed everything for the actor involved. Christopher Judge as Teal'c says very little. He does not need to. Across 10 seasons, Christopher Judge built one of the most iconic characters in science fiction television through stillness, through timing, and through the occasional perfectly placed single word that got bigger laughs than anything else in the scene. He was 32 when the show started and is 61 today. He was married to Margaret Judge from 1995 to 2011, and they have 3 children together. He has been with Gianna Patton since 2001, and they married in 2011. But the story that most people who know him now are talking about has nothing to do with Stargate at all. He is the voice and motion capture performer behind Kratos in the God of War video game series, a role that earned him a BAFTA award and introduced him to an entirely new generation of fans who have never watched a single episode of this show. The distance between a stoic Jaffa warrior and a carrying Greek god is enormous, and he inhabits both completely. Richard Dean Anderson as Colonel Jack O'Neill. Jack O'Neill made everything look easy, which is the hardest kind of performance to sustain across 8 full seasons. The dry humor, the refusal to take himself seriously, the genuine warmth underneath all the deflection. Richard Dean Anderson was 47 when he started and is 76 today. He never married. He had a long-term relationship with April Teal'c from 1996 to 2003, and they have a daughter named Wiley Quinn Anna Rose. And when he stepped back from the show as a regular after season 8, the reason he gave was direct and straightforward. He wanted to be present for his daughter. He chose that over continuing on one of the most successful shows in science fiction television. The cast and the fan base respected that decision completely, and it says something real about who he is outside of the character that made him famous. Amanda Tapping as Samantha Carter. Samantha Carter was the kind of character that science fiction television did not produce enough of in the 1990s. And she was the smartest person in most rooms she entered. She was warm without being soft, and she never had to choose between being capable and being human. Amanda Tapping was 31 when the series began and is 60 today. She has been married to Alan Kovacs since 1994, and their daughter Olivia was born in 2005, right in the middle of the show's run. Beyond her work on screen, she co-founded the Sanctuary for Kids Charitable Foundation, and which supports vulnerable children around the world. And that is not a celebrity charity project done for visibility. It is something she built and has stayed committed to over many years. Her career and her values have always pointed in the same direction. Michael Shanks as Drda. And Daniel Jackson. Daniel Jackson starts the show as an academic who has never been in a fight in his life, and spends 10 seasons becoming someone who has seen more conflict than most soldiers. Michael Shanks was 26 when the series began and is 55 today. His personal life has a Stargate connection that goes deeper than most. He has a daughter with former co-star Vaishir Bandera, who played his on-screen wife Shar in the early seasons. He has been married to fellow SG-1 cast member Lexa Doig since 2003. When he left the show after season 5, and the fan response was one of the most intense in the show's history. Petitions, campaigns, organized viewer pressure. It all built until the producers brought him back as a full regular. Very few actors in any genre television show have had that kind of relationship with a fan base. Don S. Davis as General George Hammond. General Hammond was the man who made the Stargate program feel real. Not because he was exciting or unpredictable, but because the authority he carried was completely convincing in every scene. Don S. Davis was 55 when the show began, And what most viewers did not know is that the gravitas he brought to the role came partly from genuine experience. Before becoming an actor, he had served as an officer in the United States Army and held a doctorate in theater. He was not performing authority. He had lived inside it. He passed away on June 29, 2008, at the age of 65 following a heart attack. The show honored him by writing General Hammond's death directly into the Stargate universe as a tribute rather than simply recasting or ignoring the loss. And that decision reflected the real respect the production had for him. He remains one of the most genuinely missed figures from the entire franchise. And Ben Browder as Cameron Mitchell, stepping into a show after the departure of its most beloved character, is one of the hardest things an actor can be asked to do. And Ben Browder was 42 when he joined in Season 9, and he handled the pressure by not pretending it did not exist. The self-aware humor he brought to Mitchell acknowledged the difficulty of the situation while still building a character worth following. He is 63 today. He has been married to actress Francesca Buller since 1989, and she appeared alongside him in guest roles in both Farscape and Stargate SG-1, a married couple whose careers intertwined consistently across multiple major productions over more than 3 decades is unusual in any industry. And in genre television, it is almost unheard of. Claudia Black as Vala Mal Doran Vala arrived in Season 8 and immediately made every scene she was in more interesting. She was funny and unpredictable and genuinely difficult to trust, and Claudia Black was 31 during her first appearance. She is 53 today. She was married from 2004 to 2016 and has 2 sons. She came to Stargate directly from Farscape, which had just been canceled, and she brought Ben Browder with her. The two of them together gave the show's final seasons a creative energy that kept a decade-old series feeling alive rather than just completing its run out of obligation. Beau Bridges as General Hank Landry. General Landry arrived in Season 9 as the new base commander, and Beau Bridges was 63 years old when he took the role. He is 84 today, which makes him one of the oldest living members of this entire cast. He has been married to Wendy Treese since 1984 and has 5 children across 2 marriages. He arrived on the show as a member of one of the most recognized acting families in American film history, with Emmy and Golden Globe wins already behind him. The respect he commanded on set from the first day of production is something multiple cast members have spoken about. You do not walk into a room carrying that kind of history without people noticing. Lexa Doig as Durder. Carolyn Lamb. Carolyn Lamb joined the SGC in Season 9 as the new base physician, and Lexa Doig was 32 during filming. She is 52 today. Before Stargate, she had already built a devoted science fiction following as the lead of the Canadian series Andromeda, which is where she first crossed paths with Michael Shanks. The two married in 2003 and have 2 children together, making them one of the most genuinely beloved real-life couples to emerge from the Stargate universe. Corin Nemec as Jonas Quinn. Jonas Quinn stepped into the lead team during Season 6 following Daniel Jackson's departure, and Corin Nemec was 30 when he took on the challenge of winning over a fan base that had just lost one of its favorites. He is 54 today and has been married to Jamie Beth Sherrill since 2005 with 2 children. In recent years, he has become a polarizing figure on social media, sharing anti-vaccination views and engaging with politically charged topics that have drawn significant criticism from fans who remember him warmly from the show. The gap between the character and the person behind it has become difficult for some longtime viewers to navigate. Anna Louise Plomin as Osiris appeared between 2000 and 2004 as one of the show's more genuinely unsettling recurring villains, and Anna Louise Plomin was 28 during her first appearance. She is 53 today. She has been married to actor Toby Stevens since 2001, and they have 3 children together. Here is the piece of information that stops most people through her marriage. She is the daughter-in-law of the late Dame Maggie Smith. One of the most celebrated acting legacies in British history connects directly to a Stargate recurring villain, and almost nobody who watched the show ever made that connection. Dan Shea as Sergeant Seiler. Sergeant Seiler was the base technician who kept getting injured in increasingly creative ways across 10 seasons, and it became one of the show's most beloved running jokes. Dan Shea was 42 when the series began and is 71 today. What most casual viewers never realized is that he was not primarily an actor at all. He served as the show's stunt coordinator and as Richard Dean Anderson's personal stunt double throughout the entire run. The role of Seiler was created specifically as an inside joke. The man who was taking the real physical hits behind the scenes was given a character who kept getting hurt on screen as well. It is one of the more quietly clever things the production ever did, and most of the audience watched it for 10 years without knowing what they were actually seeing. And Colin Lawrence as Sergeant Warren. Sergeant Warren was a steady background presence across the show's full run, and Colin Lawrence was 26 when the series began. He is 55 today. He has been married to actress Lucia Walters since 1999, and they have 2 children together. Since Stargate, he has built an entirely new audience through his lead role in the Netflix drama Virgin River, a show that has run for multiple seasons and introduced him to a viewership far larger than anything from his science fiction years. The journey from a gate room technician to a leading man in one of streaming television's most popular romantic dramas is not a path anyone would have predicted, but he has walked it completely. 10 seasons, 18 people, and the years since that gate shut down for the last time have taken them in directions that the show itself never mapped. One of them became a gaming icon. One of them married into one of the greatest acting dynasties in British history without most of the audience ever realizing it. One of them was never really an actor at all, and one of them is gone, honored by the universe he helped build in the only way that felt appropriate, by writing him into the story one final time. Stargate SG-1 was always about a team stepping into the unknown. As it turns out, they never really stopped.